violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Memphis's backlog of thousands of unprocessed rape kits was made public 9 years ago. Yet as the city continues fighting a class action lawsuit filed by sexual violence victims in 2014, the problem persists. Senior correspondent Laura Ingle is unpacking all of that tonight and the connection to the murder of Eliza Fletcher. Good evening, Laura.
Rich, the man accused of abducting and killing Memphis teacher Eliza Fletcher, returned to court to face charges in another violent case, which involved a kidnapping and rape from last year.
So guys, we covered this situation with Eliza Fletcher and the super gremlin that took her life. What I do want to say about this is we saw how he had multiple, even into the 10s, 20 infractions in prison where he was exposing himself to female guards and doing all this extra explicit activity sexually. And now I guess they're looking back at it and seeing what mistakes law enforcement made. And, you know, I get it, holding everybody accountable. But what about the laws that allowed this man to get out? He was still committing crimes in prison and he was still released. That's not a law enforcement issue.
And now, as questions about his involvement in both cases continues, some other rape victims whose sexual assault kits are still waiting to be tested are furious.
That story is not uncommon for the city of Memphis. It's just so glaringly obvious that there was just kind of a fundamental breakdown within the sex crimes unit.
38-year-old Cleotha Henderson was back in front of a Memphis judge to face another round of serious charges Thursday, including aggravated rape and especially aggravated kidnapping for a crime that happened in September of 2021.
For the record, state of Tennessee versus Cleotha Abson, also known as Cleotha Henderson.
The timing of his reported DNA match to the case was devastating. Memphis police collected samples for a rape kit last September and submitted to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, but without a suspect, the samples were added to a backlog of kits and were not tested until August 29th of this year. Investigators say the results came back a match the same day Memphis teacher Eliza Fletcher's body was found after being violently abducted days earlier while she was on a run. Investigators say DNA evidence collected from that crime scene matched the samples collected in 2021, linking Henderson to both crimes. Memphis attorney Daniel Lofton, who represents 80 rape survivors who have never had their sexual assault kits tested, filed a lawsuit against the city 8 years ago, which is still pending, citing what he called reckless infliction of emotional distress.
It's the ultimate insult to the ultimate injury.
Randy McNally, the lieutenant governor of Tennessee, tells Fox News Digital the backlog in rape kits has been a continuing problem and one that is extremely troubling. McNally says the state is working to approve the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's request for more hires for forensic positions, adding this: these new employees will need time to train, but I am hopeful that wait periods will decrease dramatically once these positions are online. As for Henderson, he remains in custody, held without bond, and will be back in court on the Fletcher case Monday. Rich?
Laura Ingle. Laura, thank you.
They let me down. Telling me and they let me down.
Wilma Osby's relationship with her Chevy Silverado runs deep. So deep, she refers to it as Big Daddy.
He gave me them best 17 years of my life. I call that.
Imagine replacing a man with your automobile. It's getting real desperate out here for these sisters, man.
That's my side piece back there.
Recently, someone broke into her truck while shopping at Walmart along Elvis Presley and destroyed the steering column, leaving Osby in agony.
Damn. That truck a part of me. It took me to work. It brought me home. I retired. It's still surrounded. and I got to put them in the shop.
It turns out Osby is not alone. According to Memphis Data Hub, over the last year, 164 crimes have been reported at Walmart. Of that number, 67% were thefts on the property, which has many demanding changes.
It's going to take somebody to get killed on their lap for them to do something? That's not fair. It's a whole lot of elderly and seniors be.
Yeah, and that was a great point. That's pretty much how it's going down in Memphis. It's don't ask, don't tell. And if you do see something, then, you know, it's pretty much not really addressed. People are getting arrested and thrown into jail and then released back out the same day. So it kind of makes it hard for the police officers to do their jobs, especially when the prosecutors aren't really prosecuting.
On that lot, it don't make no sense.
WREG reached out to Walmart about crime concerns at the store. In a statement, they told us in part, crime remains an issue in many communities across the country, and we do everything we.
And the super gremlins are tearing up these Walmarts for show. It's wild.
We can to create a safe environment. We are currently looking at alternatives to address the challenges of this location. Among the ways Walmart has addressed crime is by installing several cameras throughout the shopping center. Despite the measures being put in place, it doesn't put everyone at ease.
I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I don't want my big up there getting tore up again. I don't feel safe.
Reporting in Whitehaven, Jordan James, WREG News.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
All right, thanks, Joel. A well-known rapper from Memphis speaks to inmates. Tennessee Department of Correction volunteer Patrick Houston, also known as Project Pat of the Memphis rap group 3-6 Mafia, spoke to the population at West Tennessee State Penitentiary in Henning today. Project Pat began his career with performances in the early 1990s. However, the rapper knows about serving prison time firsthand. He went on to serve several years in prison for robbery charges.
So as you can see, music producer Project Pat speaking to the community about committing crimes, and this is what they call giving back, I guess, trying to warn the kids about committing crimes, and I totally get it. He's doing his part, but how impactful is this going to be on the people of Memphis? I mean, of course, the adults are going to love it and they're going to want to get autographs, but the super gremlins are going to see his path and be like, well, you know, he committed this crime, he committed that crime, he committed that crime, and he's now successful doing his thing, so why can't I have the same story? So, you know, I'm not really mad at him doing this, and I'm glad that he's raising awareness. But it just seems like it's going to fall on deaf ears for show.
And then again for a parole violation after unlicensed guns were found in his car during a traffic stop. He was released from prison in 2005.
Don't just give in to the drugs that, you know, an OD and all that, because it's nothing but it's suicide. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, you don't have to do that, you know, and you still alive and breathing, you got a chance, you know.
Project Pat says TDOC volunteers play a crucial role in helping incarcerated men and women turn their lives around by serving as a support system.
All right, guys, so I do want to talk about Mikko Worldwide. He did get his chain snatched in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Them Tennessee goons are not playing, and we covered what's going down in Memphis. Now it's time to talk about Chattanooga. And Mikko Worldwide, if you guys don't know, he is an LGBT content creator who does hood vlogs. He pulls up to different hoods across the United States, and he's actually been in some trouble recently, some YouTube beef recently, where people were pulling his paperwork and basically, you know, presenting that he had sex charges. And they were with men. So it's a very weird situation that Mikko is in. He's still on YouTube. No shadow banning, no censorship on his page, even though he is pretty much pulling up to the most degenerate hoods in the United States and presenting gang culture to a child-like audience. I guarantee most of his following is 25 and under, but that's neither here nor there. I want to talk about the super gremlins who snatched his chain, so let's listen up and see what they had to say.
So y'all remember the Mikko Worldwide nigga who did our documentary, our vlog? They be at half an M right now on YouTube. And that little shit came out about bruh fucking on that little boy.
Kids doing that sick ass shit.
That nigga fuck with, so basically what we did, we had
doing that sick stuff is what they said, but ask them if, you know, ask them about bodies that they homeboys caught, or maybe even what they caught. They wouldn't consider that sick. You know, the community has a real problem of casting the first stone. And it's just like, bro, y'all are talking about the things that he did. And obviously, I mean, if you really look at the charge that he was charged with, it pretty much looked like the situation was consensual, in my opinion. Maybe, maybe not. But I believe that he was he ended up pleading out to a lesser charge. But if this is the moral authority in the community, then we're all lost.
Bro, down here yesterday, we took his chain. Took the
nigga bleak.
They took his chain, they took his gun, and they're bragging about it online. Couldn't be more stupid.
YouTube play
all that shit.
But like, it's the principle though. It ain't even about him.
They took his YouTube plaque. That's crazy.
Being gay, we ain't got shit against gay motherfuckers. It's just like, bro, touching on kids and shit. He fuck.
Bro, for one, did y'all even read the paperwork? It wasn't a kid. It was a 17-year-old young man who agreed to go with them to, and I'm not saying it's right. I don't agree with it, especially the drug usage and whatnot that they were involved with during that situation. But let's keep it a buck. This guy wasn't a kid, and honestly, I really think that he pretty much set Mikko Worldwide up. I'm not even gonna lie. I think that they were involved in a consensual sex act, and then he probably regretted it afterwards. That's from what I'm seeing from all the information that I've got. But at the end of the day, if he did violate somebody for sure, then he should be punished by the legal system, not by 3 super gremlin vigilantes on demon time.
That little boy. And you know the nigga was saying team.
Yeah, he know it, like he telling her, like, bro, like, why you did? Nigga ain't have no good excuse on why he did that. We took all of that shit though. We got the video footage. Y'all niggas want that shit. Come with that bag on.
That bag. 1090 J, China Mac,
DJ. Yeah, we got that all of that shit, y'all.
And they're going to prison. I mean, admitting to a robbery, and they probably robbed him at gunpoint, most likely. It's just insane. We literally have the dumbest community. I don't know what to say about this. It doesn't make any sense why you would tell on yourself. This is self-snitching at its finest. These guys should be classified as rats because they told on their damn self.
No jumper, send that shit, send that bag. Y'all want that footage, man. Oh, shit. Gang, double M.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, in school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.